God's grace and peace to you, friends. This week on our Lent journey, we're going to be talking about two objects in particular, the cloth and the crown of thorns. These two connected pieces in the story have a lot more meaning than just simple objects that we place on our display. I hope that this week, as we talk about these items, you can take a deep breath from this crazy world that we live in and say, I know that God is with me in this moment, that you can feel the presence of God in all that we do. Again, I'll share with you some words from Walter Brueggemann. The news is that God's wind is blowing. It may be a breeze that cools and comforts. It may be a gust that summons you to notice. It may be a storm that blows you to where you have never been before. Wherever the wind is in your life, pay attention to it and the blessing of God, the Creator, the Sustainer, and the Spirit, for it will abide with you always. Let's worship together.
The Lord is holy and just, by his power we trust, in his love. Great is the Lord, he is faithful and true, by his mercy he proves his love. Great is the Lord and worthy of glory, great is the Lord and worthy of praise. Great is the Lord, now lift up your voice, now lift up your voice. Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord, he is holy and just, by his power we trust, in his love. Great is the Lord, he is faithful and true, by his mercy he proves his love. Great are you, Lord, and worthy of glory, great are you, Lord, and worthy of praise. Great are you, Lord, I lift up my voice, I lift up my voice. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord.
As we're looking into the significance of the cloth and the crown, we read in the Gospel of John, and the soldiers wove a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they dressed him in a purple robe. The Gospel of Mark tells us a bit more. And they clothed him in a purple cloak, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on him, and they began saluting him. Hail, King of the Jews! They struck him in the head with a reed. They spat on him and knelt down in homage to him. After mocking him, they stripped him of the purple cloak and put his own clothes on, and then they led him out to crucify him. We also read in the Gospel of John another way cloth is used in this story. They took the body of Jesus and wrapped it in spices and in linen cloths, according to the burial custom of the Jews.
Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me. Melt me, mold me, fill me, use me. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me.
Howdy, friends. We're going to move on to some new parts of our display this week. This week we're going to be talking specifically about the crown of thorns and this cloth. So the passage that Mike shared with you in our text about the cloth and the crown both come from John. There's some other pieces. But the idea was that this purple cloth that we represent here was used to wrap up Jesus like he would be a king, as a way to mock and deride him for being a king. And then, of course, instead of a crown of gold or silver or jewels, given one of thorns to harm, to mock. These two items were specifically given to Jesus to humiliate him. Purple being the color of what royalty would wear because it was so hard to make. So to wrap someone on his way to crucifixion in colors of royalty, bring back the story of Good Friday. It brings back the story of Palm Sunday. It brings back the whole situation in Rome, where some were lifted up as royalty and others were put down. This cloth represents so much more in the same way that the cloth after Jesus' death was used to wrap his body, was used to cover him, to put him away ritually, to bless his body as they said goodbye and laid him in the tomb. This cloth is so much more than just a strip of fabric. And the same thing, the crown. The crown of thorns that was put upon his head to mock him, the sign that said the King of the Jews, to make fun of the fact that he was being led off to die like a common prisoner, which he was. You and I will both recall that Jesus often said, "My kingdom is not of this world." And yet the people said clearly, you throw a crown on a guy, his kingdom is in this world, and we're destroying that kingdom. And yet Jesus has the last laugh, that his kingdom is not of this world, and thank God for that. It is in these symbols of cloth and crown, of robe and thorns, in the ways that the world interpreted what Jesus was teaching as one of a worldly place. And Jesus said, no. The cloth and the crown, these items that seem like I would be wrapped up as a king, don't tell the story of the kingdom that I bring. You may mock me, you may humiliate me, but I do this act out of love. I walk to the cross with love, not hatred. Think about what signifies power in this world. Fancy clothes, crowns, money, all of those things. And now think about what those things symbolize. Does just because someone dresses nice or has a crown mean that they're a good human? Probably not. Doesn't mean they're not. But this doesn't signify the gospel. Instead, this masks the gospel, a gospel that says to love your enemies, to care for those who persecute you, to be one with those who deride and hate you, and instead offer love and prayers for them. While these are symbols of a very dark and difficult day in Jesus' life, they're also reminders that death does not have the final word, that this story that ends on a cross is really just the beginning. So I hope when you look at crowns and clothes, and when you look at the things that signify power in this world, you remember that these are the things that signify power in the world of Christ, in the ways that we are called to celebrate that great act of love.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse o'er my soul, o'er my soul, to bear the dreadful curse o'er my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath God's righteous frown, Christ laid aside his crown for my soul, for my soul. Christ laid aside his crown for my soul. To God and to the Lamb I will sing, I will sing. To God and to the Lamb I will sing. Will God and to the Lamb, who is the great I am, while millions join the theme, I will sing, I will sing. While millions join the theme, I will sing. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing and joyful be. And through eternity, I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And through eternity, I'll sing on.
And now, await God's presence, not as you expect, hope, or imagine, but just as it is in this moment.
Allow a sense of God's presence to come and be what it is, no matter your expectations.
Accept as a gift whatever comes or does not come. Accept that you are not in charge. Accept the infinity of God's presence.
Attend where you are called, to all the ways God invites you into the work of God's kingdom. Until we meet again, amen.
uphold you, with his sheep securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. Neath his wings protecting hide you, daily manna still provide you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. If life's peril should confound you, God will put his arms around you. God be with